What's the word? Tiger!
If I quit your realm, I still rap with sages home. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
And we are back here at the Level Up Arcade Bar at Woodfire Pizza Kitchen. Davis, Gregory, Chris, Brinkley, fired up to be with you all here for this episode. Getting first into this week in Skyhawk Athletics Golf, Monday through Tuesday, the Bubba Barnett Intercollegiate at Ridgepoint Country Club in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Mittens basketball in action, the Navy and Orange scrimmage at the Elam Center Wednesday at 6 p.m. Soccer, they will be at home against Little Rock at 7 p.m. And then on Sunday, on the road in Cookeville against the Golden Eagles on ESPN Plus at 1. Volleyball at home. We'll talk to head coach Jaclynn Wilson against Western Illinois. Both games on ESPN Plus on Thursday and Friday, 6 and 4 respectively. Rodeo Thursday through Saturday at Southern Arkansas and Magnolia, Arkansas. And then football Saturday at 2 p.m. versus Western Illinois. Happy homecoming week to everyone. The homecoming football game. Squawk Talk starting at 12:50, and then the Skyhawk Sports Network pregame gets going at 1:30. ESPN Plus for that. Chris,
okay, yeah.
Homecoming week.
Yeah, love homecoming. We're going to talk about homecoming with John Abel, and we're going to talk UT Martin sports.
Hey, it's going to be fantastic. Make sure to stay tuned. Keep it right here, Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Skyhawk Sports Talk here at Level Up Arcade Bar at Woodfire Pizza Kitchen. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley now joining us from the UT Martin Rifle team. Jeffrey Bourassa, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, senior on this team, what's one of your favorite things about being an upperclassman?
I would say getting my favorite spot in the van, but I've been keeping that since freshman year. So
okay, it's small team size, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
where is the favorite spot in the van?
back right,
Okay.
there's a charging port there for your phone.
Oh.
Nowhere else on the van has that.
Really?
Yeah.
Great strategy.
Yeah.
And how many passengers can sit on this van?
It's 11.
11. And that's the only charging port?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. It's got a cup holder too. It's like,
And you've had the same spot for no one else has.
I've staked my claim.
You gatekeep it. You
Yeah.
kept it.
Yeah.
Nobody
Gate
dares
kept it.
challenge it.
Yeah.
Nobody
You should rent,
wants
if
to
someone needs to charge something, you should rent
You
it
should
out.
charge
Yeah,
money.
You should charge
should.
them
Yes.
to charge their stuff.
You should charge money and say, "No, that's going to be special." Well, no, y'all probably flying to Alaska.
We are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
Well, we've got to drive to Nashville. To get
Okay.
there, so.
Okay.
on the 40-hour drive to Alaska, everyone has to pay me $5 an hour for a charge. You make some money on that.
I would.
You would. So going to Alaska, that's one of the big trips here this year. But so we'll go first to high school. James W. Robinson Secondary School. And what was your experience like in high school with the sport of rifle and growing up with that?
Yeah, so I joined my junior year of high school, which is like a lot later. Most people join their freshman year or earlier. Some people do like middle school and that. So for me, I always felt like I was behind, and so I ended up taking like a gap year kind of where I was working, I was training, and then, just going to community college for a little bit, trying to get some classes in. And so I was trying to get my scores up to a point that was like ready for college and that. And so, that kind of got me through to college. But in high school, really good program there. Like really, like one of the best in the countries. There's only like a couple spots throughout the country that are like big for rifle.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of them. And we had a really great high school program there, and I had made some good friends there in that.
Yeah, and I'm always interested about how rifle, rodeo, a question how people get into those sports because football, basketball, baseball, those are sports and softball that you hear so much of. Oh, everybody plays those, but not everybody plays rifle. When did you find interest in that? When did that spark and what started that love for the sport?
So it's kind of a funny story actually. I had I was in my algebra class in high school, and really annoying guy in this class asked me to, kept telling me every day I should join the rifle team because he was on. Well, fast forward, he's my best friend now, and I met him through, I hung out with him through the rifle team. He was team captain, and he calls me like 3 times a day, and he goes to University of Kentucky, and so I kept shooting, he didn't, and so
Wow.
yeah,
So all because of that conversation or that
yeah, because
friend.
he just wouldn't stop pestering me about it. And I was like, fine, I'll shut to practice. So I was like, okay, I kind of like this. And
So
this
you
is
didn't
good.
begin competing until when, or actually participating in the sport? How old were you?
Like 16, 15.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know immediately, like, this is kind of fun?
No, I mean, I wasn't even planning on going to college at all out of high school. Like, my senior year, my plan was to go be an aviation maintenance technician. I was all set to go to a school for that, and I was like, I really love the sport. I want to keep doing it. And so I was like, let me take a year, try to tune in my skills, try to get my scores up for college, and eventually got picked up by UT Martin.
Yeah, and getting into the recruiting process and then getting better at your sport. Anyone knows that not just practice, but it's the work outside of practice where you become better. For you in rifle, what did that look like?
I mean, recently, like since in my college career, I've been trying to do more training with like cardio, get my resting heart rate down and stuff like that. So I started running. But I mean, a lot of the work is still on the range. A lot of it is psychological based. So I've read some books on stuff like certain sports psych stuff. There's one that's like specifically for shooting in that.
Do you use visualization?
A little bit, yeah. I talk about that with my parents a little bit because my parents actually shot on the ASU archery team. That's how they met. So I always joke with my mom that the only reason they didn't do rifles is because they hadn't invented gunpowder yet.
I'm sure that went really well.
Oh, she loves that joke.
It's her favorite.
She loves it.
I don't know how that would go over with, my parents.
Yeah, don't tell her.
Yeah, no. I'm going to hold back on that one.
Yeah.
But
What is the ideal resting heart rate for someone in your sport, or is there one?
I don't know that there's a number. I mean, mine's 56, so if you want a collegiate level, that's...
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah.
I was watching the Ryder Cup, and they had this ring on the athletes' fingers where that tracked their heart rate. And, guys were like 138, 128. They're like, wow, he's really calm in this position in this huge putt. And then now it's like, oh, my gosh, like yours is basically.
Well, that's resting. I mean, when I'm shooting, it might be more. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, golly.
Can you feel your heart? Like, are you fine-tuned to the point where. Yeah.
Well, the suit. Like, the suit kind of conceals it a lot. I don't know if you've seen the pictures of it, but it's like really thick canvas. It helps conceal the heartbeat. It doesn't like completely eliminate it, but it helps. But in certain positions, you definitely can. You can like feel it a little bit.
And I guess the best way for just a regular person to lower their heart rate to get a good resting heart rate is aerobic exercise, right? And then breathing.
I mean, when you're in the position, like as far as like from a shooting perspective, like keeping your hold small and stuff, like the breathing is a big part of it. But as far as just getting your heart rate down. I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but
no,
I
it's cool.
guess
I mean,
just
you
running.
did it.
Like that's what I do.
We should monitor our heart rates next podcast.
I don't know if I want that to happen.
Which person raises your heart rate most?
Oh,
Jason, it would be Coach Simpson, our
it
football
would
coach.
It would be Coach Simpson. It definitely would be. Because you just don't know what he's going to say.
Yeah.
It's the unpredictability of it all.
Where do you think I raised yours? Did I drop it?
I'm pretty chill. Yeah. Well, I know.
It's a great conversation.
I know Jeffrey from FCA and your involvement in this. So we're chill. It's fine. No, Coach Simpson. It'd be
Coach McMillan.
Probably also up there. Yeah. No, definitely up there. We'd probably be up there as well. So now getting into the involvement on campus, FCA, one of the associations that you're a part of. How'd you get into that and just your involvement on campus outside of the range and getting to know your fellow student athletes and peers as well?
Yeah, with FCA, I just got invited by some people, some other athletes and stuff had mentioned it to me. In my church, I got super involved in my church here. Really grew in my faith as I came to college, and so got invited to FCA. Started going for a little bit. Was always super involved in the conversations, and I knew that there were some people on leadership that were graduating, and I was like, hey, if you guys have like an open spot on leadership, like I'd love to be on that. And they were like, yeah, no, we'd love to have you. They were like, well, it started out. They were like, well, we'll have a little interview with you. And I was like, okay, cool. Thinking this was superficial. And then they're like, all right, meet us at Dairy Queen. And we just had like a 10-minute chat. And they're like, we already know we're gonna pick you up because we like you, but we just had to like
that's what it
we
was.
had to have like an interview or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
I had to qualify. Yeah.
So I do devotionals with them and stuff, and I really enjoy it. And I like just being able to minister to people in that way and stuff, I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
I have a question for you. Since you know Davis outside of being a broadcaster, because some of the people who watch only know him as a broadcaster.
Do they want to know about his pickleball performance?
Yeah, well, actually, that's a better question.
Okay, whoa.
Now, what's he like? What's he like just on a normal day, just hanging out?
Oh, he's so funny.
There.
I love Davis.
Yeah.
I love Jeffrey.
Davis.
I love Jeffrey so
Now talk
much.
about his pickleball game. Go ahead.
We're pretty evenly matched. I'll be honest.
We play some good one-on-ones.
I actually, you're one of my favorite people to play against because it's like, you're not so good that it's frustrating,
right,
but you're not so bad that I'm like dog walking.
Yeah, see,
You know?
I don't know how to take that.
That is the
honest.
strangest compliment.
Yeah.
Insult slash.
You're
But
not-
I'm having fun the whole time.
Exactly, we're having fun.
So,
we're having
it's great.
fun. You know, if you're not having fun playing pickleball, you're doing something wrong. You got to make
Yeah.
sure that you're having fun while you're playing the game, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, it's if you're having fun, that's.
And if I'm having a good day, it's fun to watch you get mad. So
Oh yeah, you know, I'll get going. You know, don't listen.
he's broken a paddle or two.
One,
On purpose or?
I didn't actually.
Oh
know he
yeah,
did. I
no,
just said that.
it was the one time I took things
Anger?
very.
I've
oh
never
yeah.
really seen him upset.
I took things very seriously that day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it was bad. It was really bad. How would you rate your pickleball skills? 1 to 10. What we got?
Like 5 being average.
Yeah.
I'd say 6.
If he's a
Oh,
6, I
okay.
think you're a 6, right? I mean, if you're that evenly matched, right? Okay.
That's true.
7.
5.9.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'll take 5.9. I'll take a 5.9.
and he thinks you're a 5.8. So
Listen,
Yeah.
anything better than a 4,
yeah.
I think I'll go ahead and take it. So, your major mechanical engineering. What are your plans after graduation?
I don't have it super fine tuned. I've been interested in like power plant stuff and energy systems. One of the things that I've always really enjoyed was like aviation stuff, aeronautical stuff. Because my dad was a helicopter pilot for the Coast Guard, so I grew up climbing around helicopters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Going to air shows, and so that was always something that really fascinated me. That's what got me into it. And I got really into like Formula One racing, so I think that'd be really cool to do. But that's like big dream job, like difficult to do. But there's all sorts of avenues I'd be interested in. I'm just gonna see what the offers come in.
You're going to see where the road
Yeah.
takes you. That's what it is. Well, Jeffrey, thanks so much for your time when you play pickleball sometimes. So we can't with the rain right now. I don't want to blow my knee out. Yeah, you know me going from one side to the other. I cover a lot of ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll start
80% of the earth is covered by water. I cover the rest.
okay.
Yep.
I love it.
Yep.
Your new nickname is going to be Carpet because you cover ground.
I don't know how that one's going to rest. We might have to cancel that one. That might just have to be taken out.
Okay.
Well, Jeffrey, thanks so much for your time and good luck here the rest of the season.
Thank you for having us.
We'll go ahead and take a break. Keep it right here, Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
We're back here, Skyhawk Sports Talk, at the Level Up Arcade Bar at Woodfire Pizza Kitchen. Davis, Gregory, Chris Brinkley. Now joining us, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs, our very own John Abel. Chris,
Abel, yeah.
Been around forever.
you've got some Chris Brinkley stories. We definitely want to hear
We have
those
some
at
stories,
some point
I'm
in
sure.
time.
Probably a few.
Yeah.
Few we need to keep in the
Yeah.
locker.
In the vault.
I don't know if
yeah.
you know this, but he was the longtime Skyhawk Radio Network sideline reporter.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did hear about this. Your lore, yes.
So that came about as Chris Brinkley said, "Hey, we need a sideline reporter. John will do it."
Yeah.
And
Never
John's
asked
really-
you. Just like,
you know what broadcasting experience I have? None.
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 So I took that role as comic relief, and that's how I played.
You just knew Coach Simpson, and you're like, all right, let's just
I
do
was
it.
a Skyhawk fan and knew the team and was doing some video stuff, so I was down there anyway. And
Yeah, and did
next
a
thing I know, I
great
had a
job.
microphone.
What's one of your memories from those years when you were on the sideline during the games?
Gosh, getting run over.
Yeah,
That's the one.
Where was that? That was
Well,
here.
I
Obviously.
took Roarin' Thomas. If you remember Roarin, very
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
He and I met shoulder to shoulder. I was protecting the cheerleaders. I looked back, the cheerleaders were behind me. I couldn't move, and Roarin and I collided. And then my son will never forget. We were at Chattanooga one night, and long pass, defender slid through the sidelines, and he just took out both of my feet.
Oh.
And I went over, and when I came up, both my shoes were about 10 yards away from me. So
Knocked him out of his shoes.
knocked me out of my shoes. So
I miss those days, though. You were really good sideline reporter.
Well,
Yeah.
there were maybe moments, but the biggest thing is down there you can't see, you can't tell. Did the guy just run 15 yards or 2 yards? Sometimes it's
Yeah.
hard to tell, depending on where you are. down on the sidelines in one of the end zones sometimes because I was also filming for highlights for
Yeah.
the team.
So you were looking through the
So I
camera.
was looking through this little hole.
Yeah.
And then also you're sometimes a long way away. So, oh, that's a big run. No, he got about a half yard.
Yeah.
So, sometimes.
I still don't understand, and I talk with coaches about it, and they just look at me like I'm silly because they're used to it. But the press box view is so much better than being on the field.
Yeah.
But there are some people, even at the high school level, they're fence leaners. They want to be down there on the field. But you can see so much more.
Oh, yeah. You can see the plays develop. You can see who's in coverage and all those things. And especially when they break off on a big run, you can actually tell how far it is.
Yeah.
Down there on the end looking through a camera hole, you're like, I don't know. If I didn't have Tom and Chris in my ear, I wouldn't tell you.
Yeah, you would have been able to pay attention a whole lot more. So in your role, talking about homecoming week and things coming up here for the students, what we got going on for students and activities for them here in this week? Always exciting homecoming.
Well, you got the traditional things. Rope pool started today. I heard I didn't make it out, but I heard everyone got soaked. So unfortunately,
but that would have been so much fun.
Well, if you're muddy in a hole, probably not.
Yeah.
But rope pool's going on every day. Well, I think today, tomorrow, they've got a pool day, rain date Wednesday. They may have to use that tomorrow. Tomorrow looks stormy. Tomorrow night would have been our lip sync competition, which is always a couple thousand people in downtown Martin. We moved that to Thursday because of the storms. Banner competition. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures of the banners that are in the library.
Fantastic.
They look phenomenal. And then you've got going into the weekend. You've got the things like our MPHC organization having a block party Friday night out by the stadium. The pyramid competition Friday night, and then of course Saturday you get into Quad City and tailgates everywhere. And then Saturday night you wind it up with our MPHC step show. So a whole lot on top of the ball game and everything else. A whole lot of student activity going on.
Yeah. What's your favorite
My
homecoming tradition?
Wow. Oh, that's a tough one.
I'll let you give a top 5 if you want to go top 5 or top 3.
I know it varies. Now I really, because we run lip sync. I think that's a fun one. Rope pull is very exciting, and people who are not familiar with Martin go, "What are you talking about? This rope
Don't
pull
call
thing?"
it tug of war.
Don't call it tug of war. That's how it started.
Yeah.
But don't call it tug of war. Rope pull can be very exciting, but probably now lip sync because we're very hands on with that one. Pyramid's a lot of fun, but there's been a lot of really memorable lip sync performances there. I thought groups. I love to see the students get out there and have fun, and that's where I think lip sync they get to do that quite a bit. I get scared at Pyramid. You start lifting people up. I get a little nervous, and I'm like, oh no, here we go.
I don't know if
I get hurt. But.
I don't know if I'd be a fan of the pyramid. Just I'd be nervous for don't fall down.
Yeah.
Nobody fall
What's
down.
amazing about you though? You've been here. What year was your freshman year? Or you don't want me to go there? No, but
1995.
so since
this is year 30.
Yeah, he was a student here as a freshman and just worked your way into different positions,
Yeah.
housing, right?
Yep.
What-
Housing.
Okay.
So you want the progression?
Yeah.
The resume,
I started in housing. Actually got hired as a hall director before I graduated because we had a hall director quit about 5 days before freshmen move in.
Which dorm?
Ellington.
Okay.
So I was hired without a degree. I didn't have my degree finished yet. I was a senior. They got permission to hire me, so I started working professionally as a senior in college, and then transitioned after I graduated into working and managing the University Center and did that role for quite a while with Steve Antrese and John Busey and some of those folks, and that just kind of blossomed into student activities and student programming and Greek life. And in 2003, I was a amateur videographer that just did stuff on my own, and Mike Munkle told Matt Griffin, hey, this guy can do videos for you. So next thing you know, I'm at football filming video games, and
and did a great job when it was much harder to edit videos.
Now you can do these. There's probably 10-year-olds over here on their phone that can do better than I can, because it's not my job. I haven't kept up with the times, but still do that a little bit. Spent a lot of years sideline reporting, sideline videoing, doing highlight reels. Some of my favorite things from an athletic perspective doing that was we used to interview all of our football seniors and do this little tape of the football seniors. And Chris has did some of those interviews a few times. I mean, he's been one that when I asked him to do something here the other day, and he was like, yes. And I was like, no, wait a minute. Is this because John's asking you because you want to do it? And he goes, I don't want to do it. I said, then I'm not going to make you do it. So I won't tell him what that ask was.
Okay.
But I was like, don't do it out of favor to me. Only do it if you're willing to want to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to force him to do anything. But doing those interviews was some fun things because you get to hear players tell stories about their experiences on the road, their experience with the coaches and those kind of things, and just those behind the scenes that everybody gets to see. So something really special I think we used to do with seniors. So it was cool.
For 30 years, there are a few people who know this campus as much as you do. Maybe Trudy, Dr. Dunnigan.
Yeah.
I mean, there are not very many.
Yeah.
But you've really made your roots in Martin,
I have.
and that's awesome.
I have.
Yeah.
We my wife and I both graduated here. The intent was she was from Middle Tennessee. We were going to move to the city and that kind of stuff. Then you start having kids and going, I want to have a kid in a small town. So, and we just love the Martin campus. Of course, we obviously both being students here and just kept working, and the opportunities opened up. And, we're a small campus, so you can wear a lot of hats, and there's always something to do. So, it was, hey, athletics needs help. I've worked in different other academic programs. I taught in the College of Business for about 10 years.
Yeah.
So I've just done different things while trying to progress through my student affairs career. So.
Yeah, one of the coolest things, again, with homecoming, everything, it's people that you went to school with now coming back. I mean, for you, why is homecoming so special with that and then so many other things?
Well, I think you hit it. The biggest thing is, especially Saturday night, we'll go to Step Show or go to Lip Sync. I'll see people that I haven't seen in several years, and there will be people, and as I'm getting older, remembering names, but I never forget faces, and I'll have to go stop. All right, give me your name again. I hate doing that, but just seeing those students come back and them talking about some of the experiences they had, and hopefully you were a piece of that for them. So some of those college memories that they tell other people about, we were a part of helping create some of those memories for them. And that's what's really cool.
Yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day, and all that.
I mean, one of the things he did for me personally, and I just want to pat you on the back for this, but years ago we had a disc golf club team.
Yep.
And I was the academic sponsor, and they competed in the Nationals in North Carolina and did really well, finished in the top 15. Those students now are in their 30s. They still talk about what a fantastic experience that was.
Yeah, so
there are so many things that go on behind the scenes that you don't see. I mean, we look at athletics, but that's the student, experience that changes their lives.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So if it's traveling with even academic conferences that we try to help students, and I always tell students, we'll try to find a way.
Yeah, and you did.
And we find a way for that group to go. Try to find a way for Dr. Robinson always hits me up, WTM, to go to New York. So we try to find a way to support our students because I think those experiences are very meaningful. And you look at what kind of impact that can have on a person's career. You never know what doors some of those things may open. So we want to give as many students those opportunities as we can.
What were some of the club athletic things that happened that weren't part of the NCAA? So it was disc golf, probably.
We had disc golf. We had rugby for a long time. Remember, there was a wave of students that were really into rugby. And that one always scared me because rugby's violent.
Yeah.
That one.
Ultimate Frisbee.
Ultimate Frisbee. We've had club baseball. We've had club ping pong.
Bass fishing. That was.
Bass fishing has now kind of faded, but we did have some.
That was a big deal. Yeah.
So here's the story.
I want to be a part of that.
Here's the story. These guys call us up on a Monday and go, hey, we want a boat this weekend. And, the university won a boat. And we're like, we don't want the boat. So now you're dealing with, legal, all right, who owns the boat?
They won an actual boat.
In a fishing tournament, they won a boat. So they come back with a bass boat. The club won it. So, all right, we'll get with legal people to figure out who owns this and how can, because we don't want to keep up with a boat. I don't want to be hauling a boat around, but they want a boat. So, bass fishing and we've had 2 or 3 times come club baseball to get these kids that just want to play baseball. The club baseball has kind of popped up a time or two. So, martial arts and those kind of things. So we try to support those club sports. It's all about what the students want to do in our world.
Yeah, and a lot of times the emerging sports are not yet NCAA sports,
right,
but they someday might become that. But our students want to participate in that.
Yeah, absolutely.
At a national level.
Yeah.
Like pickleball.
Yeah.
I can see pickleball becoming one.
Yeah,
I think pickleball will be an NCAA sport at some point.
I think it will. I think, you see a lot of sports. We opened our e-gaming center now 2 years ago.
Yes.
So there's a lot of athletic departments that are jumping onto that and bringing in a whole different student demographic that's in the e-gaming, and they're really good at it.
One of the coolest things you ever did, there was a Madden tournament. What did you do? Was it basketball?
We did. That was really cool.
That was fantastic.
We set up as many this is a different time. We set up as many TVs and gaming systems as we could, and we played college basketball. We played the tournament out in a day. So you walked in the room and we had all 64 teams in a bucket, and you just pulled your team, and you had to play that day with the team and worked it all the way down. And then we had 8 or 9 gaming systems we had begged and borrowed. At that time, Movies to Go was they'd rented us out to all their games and equipment.
And I guess there were 64 people who probably participated, or
I think we ended up in the 40s.
Okay.
That actually got in, and we whittled the bracket down. So people got some buys, and we made it work. But it was fun, and it kind of went on all day. But we've done that with Madden. We had a a NASCAR simulation one time. We played in Watkins and did NASCAR racing in there. We've done some really cool.
He's a cool dude.
Some cool kind of things. So we got lots of toys we can play with. So and we'll do some fun stuff.
Chris and I should play in like 2K or something like that. That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be fun to challenge you in that. I think I'd lose by a billion. But
now, if I remember right, Chris has still got like a high school group that meets regularly and has like a guys gaming weekend, or used to. Did I dream that?
Yeah, no, we do. We
Yeah.
do once a year.
Okay, yeah. So you never know. You pull out some Super Mario Brothers, you might get whipped.
Oh, yeah. It might be over for me. It might be.
Actually, my sport is the board game Risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one that takes like 4 days?
Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
passion. I was ranked as a grandmaster at one
In
point.
Risk.
Yeah, nobody. That's so obscure.
Grandmaster Brinkley. Okay.
Now you got new radio
I
content.
know,
New
I know.
broadcast.
But if you ever want to play Risk, though, holler. It does take 4 days.
We're going to throw it back to the studio with Grandmaster Brinkley. Take it away, Chris, with the halftime report.
Yeah.
I think that's it. That's what I'm going to start
No,
doing
don't
now.
do that.
No, I'm going to do that.
You should.
100%.
You definitely should.
And so you being a graduate of UTM, I mean, Chris talked about you helping out with Skyhawk Sports Network, and not just with football, but with all these sports. How have you seen the athletic programs and all these championships we've won and this university grow since you've started here?
Well, I mean, I feel like this keeps getting brought up about how bad we were in some sports sometimes. But, I mean, just the commitment. To me, the biggest commitment is the commitment of the university to athletics. And it's all changed. And you've looked at multiple championships in lots of sports. It's completely different. I mean, I think people used to look at, I'm getting in trouble here, look at the schedule and go UT Martin and kind of go, oh, yeah, that's kind of a pushover game. It's not anymore. We're drawing in high-quality athletes, and we've put resources into facilities and the things we need to do to get those athletes and help them compete. It's just completely changed the game of where we were doing things like this. Chris, remember these days? We did this, and Snappy Tomato Pizza.
Yeah, that's right.
On Monday nights.
Yeah.
And I filmed it and edited it and had it out the next day.
Yep.
I was doing Mac and everyone else over here, but
Yep.
so to tell you where the tech was, Coach Simpson would break down the game.
Yeah.
And we had one laptop playing highlights plugged into another laptop that was recording it, so he could move the mouse and point out players and plays and watch this guy move. And then I would take at the end of the night the recording of him moving the plays around and their audio and blend it back together, and we did that.
And did a great job.
in the back room at Snappy Tomato Pizza. So we put all this together.
I know. I'm telling you, that was your hobby.
It was a
but you
hobby.
were so good at video, at creating, especially at a time when it was difficult to do. You have a knack for it.
I was good at figuring problems out. So I don't know, like I said, now there's probably over here someone on pull up Instagram and make a video highlight better than I could, but just haven't kept up with that. But at the time we were kind of cutting edge.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, because Coach Simpson could fast forward and rewind and use the cursor to point out and look, and watch this guy's going to pull down here, and then to kind of develop the play. And I thought it was really cool what we were doing.
Yeah.
I don't know that anybody else was doing it, but it was literally two laptops like plugged into each other, connected to a video camera. It was like redneck engineering at its best to make it come together, but it was a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's so great. Well, John, thanks so much for your time. Happy homecoming week.
Happy homecoming,
and hope everything goes smooth. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you guys for having me.
And we'll go ahead and take a break. Keep it right here, Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
We're back here, Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley at Woodfire Pizza Kitchen at the Level Up Arcade Bar, joining us for her debut here at the Woodfire
I know, I
Pizza
hadn't been
Kitchen.
here yet.
You've been a veteran of the podcast, but now you're here at Woodfire Pizza Kitchen.
Here
It's
we
Jaclynn
are.
Wilson, head coach of the UT Martin volleyball team.
Here
Thank
we
you so much for
are.
joining us.
Well, thanks for having me.
And thank you so much for your time. I know the kiddos they're running around.
They're running wild.
They love it though. The pinball
They
machines.
just keep asking for more quarters.
Oh,
more quarters.
But see, that's something that a lot of people don't have nowadays. Is the quarters? Is
the
change.
bartender does.
Okay, well there
Give
you
them
go.
your dollar bills.
You would be good at pinball, I bet. Do you play?
Well, I mean, if you want to compete in it,
Oh
that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I'll take you on. I don't know if I'm any good or not,
I think you would be.
but I'll fight you for it.
The hand and eye coordination is still there.
It's still there.
I think I've got you over, Chris.
Well, I appreciate
think so.
that,
I think
Davis.
so.
I
I think I'm going with you in that
I
one.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I'll take that.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, what's your go? I mean, what would you, if you had to compete at something? What would it be? Don't tell me trivia because I'm out on that.
It would be the board game Risk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like Rummy Cube?
I've never played it.
love
I've never
Rummy
played it. Is that fun?
My dad's here too. And we're
my
big.
goodness.
We're big
wow.
rummy cubes. And Callie, my oldest 7-year-old, loves
Really?
it. She's a little
Oh
mad.
my goodness, my
math
family
whiz.
plays it all the time.
Oh, we love it.
I take forever on my turns. We don't use the time.
The
thing.
timer.
Yeah. Do you all use the timer?
No,
Okay.
but I mean, kind of depends who you're playing with,
Yeah,
I guess,
If
so.
someone wants to take
It's
forever
so
on a
fun, though,
turn.
yeah.
Yeah, that they've got
It's a brain
they've
glue.
got
I
to
love
figure things
games.
out.
I love games, puzzles. I don't have a lot of time for them, but
In the
if I'm on
off-season.
like vacation around Thanksgiving, I do a puzzle every year.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Who's better at Rummy Cube, you or your dad?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, I'll bet on
You
myself.
bet on yourself? I love
I'll
that.
bet on myself, but no, he's good too.
Yeah, he's
good
also
too.
good. He's also got some.
He's a really big puzzler. Like he's a word guy. I mean,
Mhm.
you guys, author
he's
and
an
all
author,
that.
yeah.
But so like words with friends,
oh, it's
I'm
over.
not even gonna. I won't even play with.
You
them.
won't even
So
accept
does he
the
play
invite.
old school Scrabble with the board and
Mhm.
stuff? Okay, yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah.
My goodness.
He probably wouldn't find anyone to play with him right now.
No one wants
No
to take him on.
takers. No takers.
No one wants
yeah.
to take him on. So back at home here this Thursday and Friday against Western Illinois.
Finally.
I know. So this is just your second and third games at home.
Mm-hmm.
How nice is that? Because I know there were a bunch of neutral site games, with those basically being on the road, and then a lot of road games. When you come back home, I mean, what's the relief for you and your coaching staff and the girls as well? Like, all right, fine. Like, I know
For
this
sure.
place. We've practiced
Yeah.
in this place, and there's that comfortability there.
We're really excited. Obviously, we weren't real happy with our home debut. But I'll say for these girls and as a coaching staff, we have been on the road for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And, they start classes the first week we travel. And, by week 4, before conference starts, you feel it. They feel it. You feel it from them. And it's been tough. I mean, along with a lot of them, this is their first time ever doing this. So it's just been it's been a lot, and we're really, really excited to be home for. I think we get like 2.5 weeks at home.
Yeah.
2 weekends of games or matches, and we're really excited about it. I think we're in a better place than we were the last time we were home, and obviously we're not real happy with our record, and it's been a very difficult year, but I really believe these girls, have gotten better every time we're together, and we've been preparing for this, and it's time. It's time for us to get it
to
clicking.
get going. Yeah.
To get going, yeah.
So let's talk about the crowds. I think something that I've noticed at soccer and things like the teams are coming out more than ever and supporting each other. How much is that? Now I saw women's basketball and soccer at you all's match, the home opener against Little Rock. What does it mean to have them there and have that extra juice that they can bring to you?
For sure. I think especially, I think one of the, coolest things about UTM is I know our athletes are all really close. And for me, I just think it's so important that we support each other. And I know our girls have been out at a lot of soccer games. We haven't been home for a lot of football, but they've been there when they can, and they love to be a part of that. And when basketball season rolls around, they're always at the games. And for us, just seeing other teams in the crowd, I know it means a lot to the girls, and I know they get excited. They talk about what teams are coming, and there goes my daughter walking straight across the video.
That's
I apologize.
okay. No, that's good.
For
That's all
that,
good.
and there's Callie.
Cameo appearance.
Yeah, a cameo.
Yes. That's our Rummy Cube girl.
Yes. Yes.
So we're just, I don't even know what I was saying, but we're excited to be home. And
Yeah, you've got a lot of young talent too. Abby Freund, we talked to her on this podcast. Ava Peters has been really good at that setter spot. How have these freshmen transitioned and continued to get better throughout this season?
yeah, we're extremely young. We've got 2 seniors. Mia is a redshirt junior, unfortunately out for the season with an injury, and 12 freshmen and sophomores. So it's been a challenge, to say the least, but it's a lot of growth. And Ava Peters, we're really, really excited about what she's done. I think we're just scratching the surface with what she's capable of. Diana Wade, you hadn't seen a lot of her yet. We've been training her in the middle, and that's a position that's a little unfamiliar to her, but she is a phenomenal athlete, and I think you're going to get to see some more of her here soon. Just her speed and quickness, and we're excited to kind of get her out there, and it's been a lot of preparation to get there. And I think just in general, as difficult as this season has been, and more mentally than anything, is trying to keep these girls in it and not rolling over or giving up or expecting to lose, and now we're in conference, and you come into conference, you want to win the conference. Where we are right now, we want to fight for the best seed we can get going into the tournament, and we've got 7 weeks to do that, so 6.5, and we're excited for the challenge. We're really excited to come home, and I think our girls have good attitudes and are showing up every day and still working really hard and trying to prepare.
And it will be good to be home.
It will be so good. It's
so nice. It's so nice.
On the bus, I told Julia, I was like, we're gonna be home for 2.5 weeks, and we both were like, I could cry.
These road trips, though, I mean, one thing about them is they galvanize your group, build up that chemistry. How have you seen your team come together on these road trips? They, long trips to Georgia and everywhere, but being able to spend a lot of time together. How's the chemistry been and growing that on those trips?
I feel like year in and year out, I could just go on and on about my team and the personnel we have. We just have great people. We have great people, great girls. It's a totally new team this year. We had 6 new girls, 2 of our second years redshirted. So, that's 8 in the freshman class technically. And it's just young and exciting. The girls are excited and motivated, working hard. But it's been fun to kind of see them come together and through the hard, as difficult as this is, sometimes you have to step back as a coach and realize as much as I want to win every championship, I want all the rings, I want to win, I'm super competitive. But at the end of the day, there is more to it. And these girls are more than volleyball players. They're people. They're somebody's daughter. And there's lessons to be learned through even the hard and through the low times. And for us to focus on helping these girls become better people. And when they get out of volleyball and they get out of college, there's going to be hard times. And there's going to be, times you're not getting your way. You're not, agreeing with the boss's decisions, or things at work are just not going well. But like, what's your attitude in it? What's your mind space in it? And what's expected of you. And so for me right now, as difficult as it's been, I know that it's still really important, everything that we're doing and all the time that we're spending with the girls. And, we're trying to make them better people when they leave us. And, we hope with some championship rings along the way. But at the end of the day, I love the girls. I think they're great people. I think, they build friendships that last a lifetime, and I love to be a part of that.
Yeah. Is Western Illinois coming in Thursday and Friday? What type of team do they bring in, and how are you looking to capitalize on these 2 matchups?
Yeah, they bring in some returners. Some of the girls, we were watching some film earlier. Several of the girls that were on the court last year we're going to see back. Some new ones out there as well, and I think. I think we can beat them. I'm excited to play them, and I'm excited for the challenge. I'm excited to see our girls get to where we can be. And, I really think there's nobody in the conference that we can't beat if we can control our side of the net. Right now, we've just been a little too high error, and, it's just cost us from being able to come out on top of the matches. So, they bring some athleticism and some experience, and they're coming off a split weekend with SIUE, and we're just excited for the challenge, but nothing too, hey, this is a player we're going to key in on, right. Or, they're a decent blocking team, and I think if we can get it past that and just, a few things we can key on. But I tell the girls all the time, we can watch, especially as a young team, we can watch all the film we want. It doesn't matter what they're doing if we can't, right. Execute on our side of the net. So I think our biggest focus is us. We want to go in with a little edge of a couple things that could help us succeed. Hey, these are some vulnerabilities. These are some things that, as each position should look to execute or stop. And other than that, we just got to play our side of the net.
Well, everyone come out Thursday, Friday, UT Martin Volleyball against Western Illinois. Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck here in this week.
I appreciate it. Let's get it going.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take a break. Keep it right here, Skyhawk Sports Talk.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
We're back here at Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory with Chris Brinkley. Now joining us, head coach of the UT Martin football team, Jason Simpson, as the Skyhawks back at home for homecoming this weekend against Western Illinois. Last home game, a big win against the SEMO Redhawks. Coach, getting into it first, your thoughts on last Saturday with Lindenwood.
Disappointing, very disappointed. You think
back in conference play, you're coming off a good win at home. I thought we had a good week of practice. I was very surprised with our performance. I thought we played hard. I don't have a problem with that. Our competitive, mental capacity to execute was not there. And you start, offensively, just no big plays. The first drive, right? You're moving it 10 plays or something like that, right? You overcome a sack, and then you get to a manageable third down, right? And then you're offsides. All right, and then the back misses the protection, right? And you're backed up. Now it's fourth down. You drop a ball, so you get no points out of that first drive. All right, then I think you have a 3 and out. Then you score in a third possession, so it's a tie game, 7-7. I think we had 5 plays on the fourth drive and didn't do anything with it. So you go to halftime 7-7. Now, it's concerning that we're not getting any big plays. Okay, I mean, and that's a that's a personnel problem, it's scheme problem, which I'm responsible for both. All right, and and it's simple things like this. You got to hold your block a little bit longer. The back's got to stay on his track a little longer. The receiver's got to block a little longer, and then the back's got to break a tackle when you get to second level. And then in the second half, they scored every possession in the second half. Before I talk about defense, so you're down 14-7. And then I forget what happened there, but anyways, by the time we get it going again, it's 21-7. We get a drive going, and then we put it on the ground. We have a 15-yard completion, and we fumble it, and then they score again. It's 24-7, and time's running out on us. Defensively, started the miscommunications and started on the first play. To be quite honest with you, the corner doesn't make the call, and we have a miscommunication, and 21-yard run, comes out of there. They play quartered. We play quarters covered. We're 8 yards off, and they run right past us. And that that corner was player of the game the week before. So looking for the consistency, from week to week, we get an unbalanced check. It doesn't get communicated all the way across, so we have a communication issue. And they, 45, yard play. We had some untimely penalties. Okay, a double move got us again. So we didn't play well on the back end. Didn't play well at the corner spot. There's probably, I think we had roughly 55 plays on defense. Probably 42 of them are good football. But, that's not how defense is measured, right? It's especially on the back end. There's nothing behind you but the goal line. And, so we paid the price for that. We talked about keeping the quarterback in the pocket. He's a good player. And, he had 91 yards scrambling. We lost contain several times. And, and that's how they win games. And he's good at it. And, so disappointing. Nothing we can do about it now. Move forward, and this is my favorite game of the year, being at home for homecoming. I think UT Martin does homecoming. I looked it up because it did some work for you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. We've had 18 homecomings in my 20 years here. Of course, COVID didn't play. That was the spring. All right. Yeah. We're 13-5 in those homecoming games. So. Which is probably about what our winning percentage is in the conference. That's about right, what it is. So, we're going to lean into that, and we got to do our job for our alumni and our family and our friends and get a homecoming win.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing, Coach, that went to my mind is that 1-1 in conference, your season is not over at all because last year, losing the opener to SEMO, and then you still get a share of the title and get to go to the playoff.
Right.
By no means is this season over.
No, I mean, and that's when I addressed the team today. I hit on that about, seriously, about 5 seconds. My main thing was, it's unacceptable. We're better than that. When you play teams like we did in the early part of the schedule, okay, the quarterback is Southern Illinois. I get that. And that's take nothing from that Lindenwood team. They've got a solid ball club, all right, and they outcoached us and they outplayed us, but it's not that like we were getting blocked at the point of attack, to where it was bad technique, bad communications, and you can't win games like that. And it's frustrating, very frustrating, but that's that's why, that's coaching, that's playing, and you got to do better at it if you want to get wins on the road.
That's the one thing that I think seems to bother coaches the most is inconsistency.
Yeah.
And it's within a game, it's within a season, but I see it across the board in every sport.
No, and that's how most games are won and lost. Is very rarely do guys, if you're got a quality players, and which I would think probably this year in the league, everybody's very similar, especially with COVID now. With the transfer portal now. You're very, very similar. What I see is when I said this before, right? When you're good the year before, you graduate guys, then you get in guys, get picked up, portaled out. Okay? The teams that were not very good don't lose as many players.
Right.
So they're better than they were the year before. So that's why we're all so, and the same way in Power 5 football. There's no dynasties anymore, and every week it's a grind for everybody. Okay, so but regardless, there's no excuse for that. We need to coach better. We need to play better. It's
but inconsistency is harder to coach.
No, it is, especially when you've seen a player do it the week before.
Yeah.
At a high level the week before and get an interception and be player of the week and stuff, but. Once again, that's if the players didn't need the coaches, right, then they could go and do it themselves. As a coach, you always got to find another way for the eye discipline or the communication or, how do you get through to the player. And then the player has to do it at a high level. And if he consistently does it, then you've got to have another guy ready to give him a chance to make that play, which is life, is competition. But the two things, we've got to create more explosives on offense, okay? And be more detailed to keep drives, because you're not going to get explosives every quarter. That's not. We don't have that many fast guys. Okay, not many people do, right? And defenses can take that away from you. At times people could take Colton Dowell away from us. Okay, but you got to keep getting first downs until that opportunity comes, and then when it comes, you got to Colton's got to run past the guy or go and catch the deep ball. And we didn't do that this week. We did it the week before. We didn't do it this week.
And the word you've used a lot, opportunistic. And
like I said, we had a chance for Josh Hastings had a pick six, right? Go in and out of his hands. He's gonna score there. Like I said, it's disappointing. I probably that loss the other day probably ranks up there. And don't get me wrong, I've lost a lot of games here, but we've won a lot. Frustrating. That's probably in my top 5, 6, or 7.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you watch the tape and you say that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. We're better than that. I've seen us make that before, and just felt like that one got away from us.
Yeah, well, let's get to this week now and just some of these notes. Scotty Alexander, I thought this is a guy that, Bryce Bailey drew a lot of attention, especially after his performance against SEMO. But Scotty has shown some good flashes and can contribute to this offense. And other receivers like Faison, too, and Sean Hardy. No,
they have. I appreciate those guys. They work hard in practice every day. They're very unselfish. And, they're ready. All those guys are backups last year, okay? And so now that they're at, and it's a different mindset. When you're in that starting position, you got to make plays. We need you to make plays. And, just didn't have enough of them the other night. But I can't say enough about them being unselfish. They practice hard every day. But I do think we could improve a mindset of hey, I need to, get this third down to me. All right. And sometimes we've been a backup your whole career. Bryce has done that. All right. Because he's had some success. But the other night wasn't one of his better games, and he'll be the first one to tell you. But no, and we got to get DeZalin going some more. DeZalin, today at practice tonight, we're trying to find different ways to get him. He's fast. He's fast. He's kind of fearless. He'll throw his body. He's just trying to learn it all so he can, play more than one play and come out and stuff. But we've got to find some guys that can go get the ball down the field for us, because once again, you can't rely on those 10, 12 play drives. Yeah, that's very difficult. Your quarterback has to play at an elite level now if you're going to do that.
And the interior defensive lineman, Toby Camp, LeBron Edmond, those are two guys that are
Love
big
Toby
men
Camp.
that
Love
can.
I
Hey, he
can-
gets 2 blocks this past Saturday.
You know, I can't. Toby Camp is. I mean, well, he doesn't need a number. Just put UT Martin on his front and his back.
Yeah.
You know, he is what I want this program to be about. One of the coolest thing I heard the other day, I didn't even know who blocked the kick. I should have known it was Toby, okay? Because he, you know, that's a skill in itself, right? It takes mental toughness to handle success, and it takes mental toughness to handle failure. So when you give up a touchdown, it kind of, you know, I always tell every defense staff I have, okay, that's one of the first things I look at when I come in on Sunday morning is field goal block or PAT block. Because, you know, when the teams score, right, that's kind of a measuring stick of your program, to be quite honest with you. Guys will get down because you call block left, block right, block middle. You know, you have a different call that goes in. And when they get down and when they rush, because, you know, we blocked a lot of PATs over the years. And when it says 6 on the scoreboard and not 7, there's a mental lift that happens to your whole team because you say, hey, that may cost them down the road in the game. So I hear Toby come to the sideline after somebody blocked it. I wasn't sure who did. And some guys were celebrating, and he was kind of chirping at them. And, you know, and he says, what are you celebrating for? You know, we just gave up a touchdown. But yet he was one that lined up and rushed his tail off and blocked it.
Yeah.
And like I said, he'll leave a legacy here. He may not, you know, be in the record books for sacks or anything like that, but he's a guy that worked his tail off. It was important to him. He has a total respect of the football team. And I'm glad he's on our team.
You make a really good point that sometimes the legacy that's left is not on the field during the game. It happens everywhere else.
No, it does.
Yeah.
No, and you know, that's going to go a lot farther than you know, records will be broken and things. But, you know, we start the season like that every year. It's talking about, you know, what will your teammates say about you in 10 years? You know, what will be the first thing that comes to their mind? And, you know, just like Smiley was a great teammate. Toby Camp, Smiley was his best friend. That's what the coaches, that's what the players say about Toby Camp, and I wished he had another year to play with us.
Yeah. Now getting into this week, your favorite week, homecoming week. Why is it your favorite week? It
just feels like, I think at every FCS level, right, you're always fighting for the pageantry of college football. You know, there's a difference, you know, with 100,000 people are there, right? They just walk down the street to the game, and it feels, you know, there's a lot of energy to that. And so this feels the closest to that of the home games. You know, I've taken a lot of pride over the years of making our team, you know, at first it was just being relevant and making teams, alumni proud to come back, former players to come back. And I love it when former players bring their family, you know. I should have taken a picture with everyone. You'd be surprised over the years when people will come back, whether homecoming or even the summer, and they'll say, Coach, I played here in the 70s, I played here in the 80s, or I played here in the 90s, and they're bringing their wives back. Maybe they didn't date when they were in college, and they got their little girls with them, and they walk on the field and take a picture. That's cool, man. That's college football is pretty awesome. There's a lot of great things that go with it. And homecoming week is one of those things, especially the way we do it here.
Yeah, it's pride.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing people for the first time, and you want them to be proud.
How many people that I just saw a text a while ago on there, a family text with Taylor Haskins, you know, who's a Pike.
Yeah.
You know, and he was kind of busting everybody's chops. Nobody came or nobody in the text, you know, his family or my family came to support him today, you know, in the rope pull. You know, and he was saying it facetiously, but that's cool though that. You know, there's how many stories have I heard in my 20 years of my friends that live here in town that talk about their rope pull?
Yeah, all the time.
You know, and it's kind of neat, you know. And I think I think the Pikes even started practicing in August.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's illegal. I don't know. I hope I didn't. but I think
we'll edit it.
Is there any rules to it?
We'll edit it out if it's illegal.
Yeah. But I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah.
You know, because it's important to them to keep that tradition, and that's what college football is, right? Tradition. You want to win. You want to have bragging rights, and so the whole week long is a cool thing here at UT Martin. There's great memories. I think that's a great connection that our university has and our alumni and the people in the community, have. So I hope it's good weather. Hope we have a good crowd, and then I need to do my job, and our team needs to do their job, and we need to go play well.
One more, I wanted you to say something. John Abel was on earlier as a guest, and we were talking about homecoming, but he was really a part of your football program for many years with the camera. And what has he meant to this program and to this university?
No, John's been a lot to me. No, he's sitting there.
Oh, is he still over there?
He is.
No,
I thought he left.
Good. I hope he hears this. I hope he knows what I think of him. No, John's been a good friend of mine. Ty and Jackson, same age and stuff. But, when you say John helped me get this program, in his own part up to this point over the years. I mean, I remember in 06, right? We're trying to do something. All of a sudden, he's able to throw together the selection show. And get us in Watkins Auditorium, and it looked legit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great thing. And then those videos and those pictures, I'd love to pull them out. You weren't born yet. You weren't born, John.
There's one.
But we're on ESPN and stuff, and then he would do highlight tapes for the players on. We would watch them in pregame on Saturday. And back in those days now, and we didn't, we weren't playing all these money games and stuff to be able to, to do the things that you would want to do in recruiting.
Yeah.
Okay. But John would help me and from a video standpoint and anything on campus that hope I'm not, John, is there a I guess it's past the date. We've already been through like 3 or 4 chancellors, okay? So and anything that John could help with on campus to help the football program and any of the athletic department that they would ask him. And then saying, hey, I got this concert coming in. Let's do it this night because it may get you a bigger crowd at the game that night. And so I just appreciate him, and he's been a big part of our program.
Yeah, me too.
We talked to him about homecoming, his favorite homecoming events. I know you talked about rope pull. And your daughter doing some things with AOPI as well. I think she did, was it step last year?
I don't know what she – I guess you're right. I forgot about that.
She was here earlier.
I forgot about that.
She bailed out
cool.
on you.
Yeah. I don't know where him is.
Graham's still here. But
hey, they've been traveling, man. They had a high school game Friday, and they went to Bama, and then, I got to win some games so they come watch my games. How embarrassing was that on the I rewatched the doggone Bama game the other night, and they say, Ty's dad, can't be here today. He's playing Lindenwood. They start the game like that. And then they check the score, and then there's the UT Martin logo on ABC. Right, we're getting some good plub, and we lost.
Yeah.
Well, and what's awful was it was after our game ended and they threw it up. They didn't have to do that. They didn't have to show our score.
Hey, did you hear what they said about the quarterback, though? Did y'all hear that? About how
he almost went to Vanderbilt.
No, it was New Mexico State.
New Mexico State.
You're the fountain of misinformation right there. No, they almost took the Lindenwood kid, they said, over Pavia at New Mexico State, and the Jerry Keel, who's on the Vanderbilt staff, they said they were watching the national championship game of the Lindenwood kid, and they said, we're recruiting the wrong quarterback. We need to take this one. So they take that one. Then I think that the kid went to Iowa State, then transferred to Lindenwood. But he's a good player.
Yeah,
he beat us.
I would love to see you do Pyramid. Could we?
Well,
can we get like an AI generated image of Coach Simpson doing Pyramid?
You know what? If that's what it took to win this week, let's go. I would do it. If you could promise me, I will climb up on your back. I will climb up on your back and do the UT. I had never understood that. I bet. I remember the first time I went to the pyramid, and I was kind of enamored and fired up, and they're doing their dance routines and stuff. I'm like, well, that's cool. Everybody's doing the same. And then they get to the cheer part of it. The guys don't look real fired up about that.
No, that's true.
They should. They probably. I don't know if they should take that out, Alex. And I'll give them credit for it. I'll be like, no, it's cool. Just do like me, like when we sing our fight song at the end of the game. Just I give you a little UTM. I'm cool with that.
Have a little rhythm.
Yeah. Some people think we're doing the YMCA. But the girls, it's cool. They've all cheered and stuff before. The guys, though. I don't know they buy into that part of it, and I understand.
Some of them interpretate you, too, with Oh goodness! With what they do on the stage for library, they have their outfits on, their coach outfits.
Yeah,
lip sync.
Lip sync.
Yeah, lip sync. They'll have their coaching, and they'll have like some stuff to imitate you. They'll be like your outfits.
Well, right now they'll probably mimic me yelling at the officials and throwing call sheets and stuff. But no, that's cool. I appreciate that. I mean, I've got some texts recently from some former students here that, really followed us, and I appreciate that. And former players, hanging their coach and stuff, because they know we have a lot of pride in our program, and our fans do too. And we want to get this going in the right direction. Tito texted me today. Torrin Stevens. Yeah. And so that was kind of cool. Yeah. But
I was thinking when Chuck Hammer used to watch our games on a Navy ship out in the ocean.
He told us he turned his ship around to watch us play a game at Jacksonville State.
I meant to bring. I'm glad you brought that up. That is, if you said what's one of the coolest moments that I thought, man, it's really cool to be a head coach, was when Chuck sent me that flag that flew over that his ship.
Yeah.
That's my wife's given me some cool paraphernalia over the years and stuff, but that's probably, I was like, that thing's been in the ocean.
Yeah.
It's been on a battle, on a carrier, man, and he didn't have to do that. And that always stuck with me, and he does a great. And we're 1-0 when you weren't there, and he did it too. So I am a little biased.
Did you hear Davis compliment you earlier?
I need to hear it. I need some compliments.
We had a rifle athlete on, and they was talking about his resting heart rate and how he's got it down to 54 when he performs, and that helps him. And so he asked Davis, what guest makes your heart rate go the highest? And Davis said, Coach Simpson, hands down.
Well, you and Coach Rick Millen are probably up there, but I think you got to be.
Well, you know what? You need to come on the sideline with me. I'll get your heart rate up a little bit. I thought there was a couple calls that could have gone our way.
Yeah.
On Saturday. How does Davis do? Does he give the officials a free pass?
No.
Does he
get
them?
Davis is the
Let's go.
Yeah, Davis
is
the most passionate, energetic into the game, and if you lose, it's devastating. And
he doesn't say like they're cheaters and stuff. He doesn't go that far.
Well, we can't say those
okay,
words.
Okay.
I gotta hold that back.
Most of it happens during the breaks. I shouldn't be telling you.
No, it does. Well, like Alex was doing so my celebration when J Mike breaks up a pass, got him in a seatbelt.
He needs to break up some more passes. We need him to this week for sure.
And then if we lose on the ride home, we have to say, Davis, it's okay to talk. It's over. We're not on the team bus. It's okay.
We won't tell Sim. You can say, hey, you never know now, because Alex and I've been together for a long time. So if he ever gets like the SEMO guy, let me know. Just let me know, because we might have some good viewership that night.
Now that you bring it, I'm not gonna say much, but listen,
because we'll have a wrestle. You want to play pickleball? No, we'll box.
Wrestle.
No, we'll box.
I love it.
Listen. We joked about it in the office, but I'm being dead serious. If that, I probably shouldn't say anything, but I am. If that happened to me, I would. I need a new change of attire if that happened on that broadcast. I would be done. If you did that,
he would never do that.
I would probably never do that. Chris would have. I would interview everybody else, and Chris would have you there.
Let me just say, look, I've interviewed Simpson for 20 years, and I've asked you some stupid questions, and you have always.
You're very gracious. You're very gracious.
No, you really haven't.
But we appreciate it.
Yes.
I tell you, the toughest questions that I get, Alex, are from the WTM reporters on the sideline after the game. Win or lose now. They're hard ones, and I know they don't mean anything by it, but, it could be a game where you threw for 350, but maybe you only ran for, 90 or something, so you got 440 yards, right? And
you won 40-something.
And all of a sudden you'll get a question like, Coach, what are you going to do about this run game? or vice versa, no, there's some they get after me.
A student newspaper gets after you too. Holy cow!
But there's always comfort in it because Richard's always right there. Richard Robinson's always right there, and I'll look at him and he's always got a smile.
You're doing great.
I know. So
hey, they're just students, learning. I probably popped up the other day. My first interview with you. Need to pull up. Let me pull up the picture while you're talking. I'll go find it.
Because I was going to say, if I ever, all I got to say in front of Richard is, How about that Davis? Oh, that's his prize pupil now. That's his prize pupil.
I need to go back because it popped up on my memories the other day, and I was going to show it to you. I was very nervous during this moment because I had never talked to you before.
Freshman? You were a
Yes,
freshman?
I was a freshman.
Did you
I'll
wear
show
a tie?
Chris.
Oh, look at
Did he have a tie on?
I had
Let me put my glasses on.
I had a bow tie on.
You look the same.
Look at that bow tie, man.
Can you show the camera?
Oh, I will get
Y'all gotta
Mac.
see this.
I'll send this to Mac.
Mac, you got to put this on there.
Yeah, the bow tie. You had your hat. This was back during your hat days.
I would have thought I was talking to a frat guy at Ole Miss. in that. Look at that picture, Jaclynn. Look at this. Now look, Jaclynn wouldn't have spoke to you. Look,
No, I
if
don't
you'd have
think
walked
she
up to her with that bow tie on,
Yeah.
she said, "Look at this nerd. Get out of here." Now, I shouldn't say that. Was Carver or
Dr.
Chancellor?
Carver was
So
there,
you were trying to get in
Yeah,
good with
I was trying
Carver.
to get in good with Dr.
That's
Carver.
smart. That's,
You know.
he smooths his way into this job. That's what happened.
That's what it was. I reached my way in. What I think I should. What'd you say? Yeah. Hey,
Hey, some of us eat you know what? I need to start eating off the floor again.
We're getting in the trenches this week, Coach. We're in the trenches.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it
we're
takes.
getting muddy. We're getting muddy. We're in the trenches this
See,
week.
I'm not. When Chris and I when it was just Chris and I, we're at Snappy's, and having to pay for my own food and everything. Now Davis takes over. Now we're in this cool place.
Yeah, I know exactly.
He makes the whole athletic department come. It's a big deal. I got to adjust with the times, Chris.
You're the man, Davis.
Yeah, hey, listen. No, this is everyone wants to hear what Coach has to say.
I mean, it was just Chris was trying to fill time. He was getting he was getting Grayson and Ty on the show.
We were greatest move I ever made.
We were trying to get. Hey, he's improved since his first interview.
Yes,
I
yes.
think that first interview, he's probably
That
7
first
or 8.
interview, they should probably pull that up on one of his games.
Oh, and it has 1 million views right now.
Does it really? That's funny.
It's probably up there or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Well, Coach, thank you so much
Yeah.
for your time. We're in the trenches this week, homecoming week. Will we see you out at rope
man.
pool?
Let's go. You know what?
Could
I'm
we?
going to try. It's hard to because
I-
there's
with
not
practice,
practice and
yes,
stuff.
of course,
but,
of course.
and you got Pyramid Friday night and all, and so maybe I can pop over there. I think it's an awesome deal. Whoever invented that, thank you. The way we do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tug of war, I'll pass. But the way we do rope pull, no, it's something to be proud of, and I appreciate everybody. And let's get a win this week.
Let's go. Good luck this week,
Thanks,
Coach. Thanks so
guys.
much for coming on with
Thanks,
us.
bud.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.
That'll do it for another episode of Skyhawk Sports Talk. Davis Gregory here with Chris Brinkley. What a great show.
Yeah.
Coach is fired up. It's
Yeah.
homecoming with Coach Wilson, fired up about some home games. John Abel with homecoming, and Jeffrey Bourassa. We'll see him on the pickleball courts. What a great episode.
Yeah, we got pickleball worked in multiple times.
We did. People are probably sick of us talking about pickleball.
They just want to see you play now, and now I'm convinced you might be good.
I'll never tell. I'll never tell.
Yeah.
No one will ever know until the time comes. But I'm going to let people think what they want to think.
We
you
got to
know?
get a video.
Yeah,
somehow.
we will. Hey, Chris, any final thoughts before we sign
No,
off?
go to UTMsports.com. Homecoming week, a lot going on at UTM.edu. You can see the schedule of events, and go Skyhawks.
Yeah, go Skyhawks. For Chris Brinkley, all of our great coaches, myself, Davis Gregory, we say God bless here from Woodfire Pizza Kitchen.
If I quit this season, I still be the greatest.
Skyhawk Sports Talk podcast is brought to you by Weekly Ford Nissan.